Hi everyone, I'm Tim Kington and this is Coding is for the Birds. Daisy and I are working our way through Advent of Code 2021 and this is day 6. Alright, here's our problem for day 6. If you're playing along, take a moment and read it. What we need to do here is simulate a population of lanternfish, and it says they're going to grow exponentially. So each lanternfish creates a new lanternfish every 7 days. The lanternfish aren't synchronized, so they can have timers set to different number of days. They will reproduce on different days. And baby lanternfish take a while before they produce another lanternfish, so 2 extra days. So we can work through it something like this. If we started with lanternfish that are going to reproduce in 3, 4, 3, 1, and 2 days, we could count down. And when one hits 0, we would reset that one to 6 on the next interval and add a new lanternfish that's a baby that'll take 8 days to reproduce. And we could just go through this list and decrement these and add new ones onto the end. That'll work for this example. For my puzzle input though, that's a lot of fish, and this is going to grow exponentially. So I think probably tracking it this way is going to fail. So let's try to be a little more clever. Maybe we'll keep a count of how many fish we have at each interval. So the number of fish we're going to reproduce in 3 days, and 2 days, and 1 day, and try to track it like that. I think that's going to be a lot more efficient. Daisy may be noticing a problem that I haven't thought of yet. We'll see if we run into it. All right, we're going to need, I guess it's just going to be one line probably. It looked to me like that was one line of input. You can say, split the line where the commas are, give each token parsing days. We're going to need a data structure to keep track of these, so I guess I'm going to keep, I guess an array events is fine for now, right? So we could say int array num by days left, and they never go higher than 8, so we can do this. And then here we'll increment the value in the array in that slot. So after that, we should be able to print out our array. And see if it looks like what we're after. And what's this unhappy about? Oh yeah, I'm parsing the wrong thing. Okay. Okay, so yeah, of course we can't print an array in a reasonable way. Is there no raise.join or something? No. There we go. Okay, so that looks pretty reasonable. Now let's go through and try to make the lanternfish reproduce. So what we need to do is go through the array and move these values down one slot, I guess, each time, right? So we'll make a pass across the array. Less than 8, maybe? I guess we need to get the first value, so we'll say that. We'll go here and we'll copy each one down a slot. So none by days left sub I is none by days left sub I plus 1. So these all move one slot to the left. And then the ones that are done are going to reproduce and restart themselves. So we're going to say in slot, let's see, if they were in 0 this time, so the ones that have a 0 become a 6 and add an 8. All right. So Daisy's trying to destroy my keyboard. So I think we can say add on the num that were done here. So they're repeating. And then we'll do the same number added on to slot 8. And those will be the new lanternfish. Okay. And we run this. They were doing 18 days with this input. So let's try that. We'll try this input and we'll go 18 days and see what we get. All right, so 1121, 1121. Yeah, so we have 1 at 1 day, 1 at 2, 2 at 3, 1 at 4. That seems fine. Those are all going to go down 1. And then on the next line, somebody reproduces. So this shifts to the left. That's fine. Now we should have 1, 2, 1. We should get a new one at 6 and 8. These shift down. This is looking, doesn't seem like we have enough lanternfish, does it? All right, at each pass, let's also count them. So yeah, they're not growing fast enough, are they? What did I do wrong here? Oh wait, after 18 there are supposed to only be 26 fish. Something went wrong. We started with 5 fish. Now we have 6. Okay, I see what's wrong. The last slot here isn't getting cleared. That's the problem. When we move them all over one slot, we're not clearing the last slot in the array. So right here, num by days left sub 8 is always going to be equal to num done. We don't add on to it. So now, okay, now we have a total of 26. So I think that's probably working. So this one says after 80 days it'd be 5934. Let's go ahead and make this 80. Okay, so I think we're good to go here. Let's try the real input. Still not sure I'm not going to have an integer overflow here, but it looks like it didn't get big enough. 387413. Okay, what will the second half be here? Same thing, but 256 days. Okay, so we may be okay here because of the approach I took. Certainly if we had just kept a list, we would be hosed. This is definitely not working because we're hitting some negative numbers. we might just be able to use longs here. So let's try that as a first stab at it. Might just need bigger numbers. That along, we'll make our total along. Let's see what we get here. Getting big, but they didn't go negative, so I think we're probably okay here. All right. There was kind of a tip-off in this problem, right? We saw the word exponential, and that made me nervous right away about trying to track this with a list. So I took this approach of grouping them and storing them in an array. And then I figured we could switch to a long if we needed to. And if that didn't work, we could have switched to big integer. We could have had an array of big integer, and we would have had to change this a little bit. You add to big integers by calling a method instead of using the operator, but it wouldn't have really changed the structure of the code at all. So I think this approach was going to work no matter how big our numbers got. We just needed to decide on the right type to hold our values. So another nice little problem. The key to this one was seeing the word exponential and planning ahead. Daisy says that was obvious. We'll be back for day 7. Don't forget to like and subscribe.